Leo horoscope last week of April 2026. Hey, my Leo kings and queens. This is not just another weekly horoscope, this is a turning point. The last week of April 2026 is where everything starts to shift beneath your feet, emotionally, mentally, and even in your external world. And if you've been feeling off lately, if things haven't been clicking the way they usually do, you're not imagining it. Something deeper has been happening. This week is not about surface level success. It's about alignment, it's about truth, and most importantly, it's about you stepping into a version of yourself that no longer tolerates confusion, delay, or emotional imbalance. Because what's happening right now is a reset. And by the end of this week, Leo, you will not be the same person you were at the beginning. Until you were emotional shift and inner transformation. At the beginning of this week, you may feel emotionally heavy, almost like something is pulling your energy inward. This is because a powerful lunar influence is activating your emotional foundation, your past, your home energy, and the parts of yourself that you usually don't show to anyone. You may find yourself thinking about old situations, old conversations, even people you thought you had moved on from. And here's the truth, Leo. This isn't happening to weaken you. It's happening to clear you. Because before you can step into the next level of your life, you have to release what's been sitting quietly in your emotional background. Midweek, this energy intensifies. You might feel more sensitive than usual. You might react faster than you normally would. Or you may notice that certain situations trigger you in unexpected ways. But instead of fighting it, observe it. Because every emotional reaction this week is showing you something important. It's revealing where you've been holding on, where you've been tolerating less than you deserve, and where you need to finally let go. Love, ego, and relationship reality check. Iron. Now let's talk about relationships. Because this is where things get very real for you this week. At the start of the week, there may be tension, not necessarily conflict, but a subtle distance, miscommunication, unspoken expectations. You might feel like you're giving more than you're receiving, or waiting for someone else to meet you at your level. And here's where Leo energy can get tested, because your natural instinct is pride. You don't chase, you don't beg, you don't explain yourself twice. But this week, the universe is asking you to do something different. It's asking you to be real. Not reactive, not defensive, but honest. Because the truth is, the connection you want, the relationship you deserve, doesn't come from ego. It comes from emotional clarity. And as the week progresses, something shifts. Conversations become easier. Energy softens. And you begin to see who is actually aligned with you and who isn't. By the end of the week, Leo, you won't be confused anymore. You'll know. Career, money, and real world pressure. Now let's talk about your external world. Your career, your goals, your money. Because while your emotional world is shifting internally, your external world is demanding action. This is not a slow week for you. Work responsibilities may increase. Deadlines may feel tighter. And expectations, whether from others or from yourself, are higher than usual. But here's the key difference. This is not pressure to break you. This is pressure to elevate you. You are being pushed into a space where execution matters more than ideas, where results matter more than intentions, and where discipline matters more than motivation. There may also be financial awareness this week. You might start noticing where your money is going, where you've been overspending, or where you need to become more strategic. This is not about restriction, it's about control. Because the version of you that you're becoming handles money, decisions, and opportunities differently. And this week, you start stepping into that version. Just midweek turning point, the shift. Around the middle of the week, everything begins to change. The emotional fog starts to clear. The confusion begins to settle. And suddenly, things make sense. This is your turning point, the moment where you stop reacting and start understanding. You begin to see situations for what they really are. You begin to recognize patterns. And most importantly, you begin to trust yourself again. This is where your power returns. Not loud, not dramatic, but steady. And once that clarity hits, Leo, you don't go back. End of week energy. Confidence returns. By the end of the week, your energy feels different. Lighter, stronger, more focused, social energy improves. You may feel more attractive, more confident, more like yourself again. Opportunities to connect, network, or simply enjoy yourself may appear. And this time, you're not forcing anything. You're flowing because you've already done the internal work earlier in the week. And now, you're operating from alignment, not confusion. Health, energy, and balance. One thing you need to be careful about this week is burnout. Because with emotional processing on one side and work pressure on the other, your energy can get drained quickly. You may feel mentally tired, even if physically you're still pushing. So listen to your body. Rest when needed. Slow down when necessary. And don't ignore the small signals, because maintaining your energy this week is just as important as achieving your goals. Final message, powerful closing. Leo, this week is not random, it's a reset. You started this week feeling uncertain, emotional, maybe even slightly off balance. But you didn't break, you adjusted, you learned, you released, and by the end of this week, you are clearer, stronger, and more aligned than you've been in a long time. So, if something leaves your life this week, let it. If something feels uncomfortable, face it, because everything happening right now is preparing you for what's next. And what's next, Leo, is bigger than anything you've been holding on to. This isn't your breakdown. This is your upgrade. Good days are coming. Be ready.